Jake Morrison stood in the great hall of Harmony Prime. The massive space station floated in the void between stars. It was home to the Galactic Council. 12 different alien races met here to decide the fate of the galaxy. Jake was the only human in the room. The council chamber was huge. Strange lights hung from the ceiling. The walls were made of crystal that changed colors. 12 seats formed a circle in the center. Each seat was built for a different alien species. Jake had a small platform near the edge. He was not allowed to sit with the real council members. High Counselor Vexthara rose from her seat. She was a Zephyrian. Her skin was blue, and she had 4 arms. Her eyes glowed like yellow stars. She looked at Jake with hate. "The humans are a problem," she said. Her voice was cold. "They spread across 17 star systems. They build ships of war. They take planets that do not belong to them." The other council members nodded. The Kithra delegate made clicking sounds. His name was Hivemind Zalter. He looked like a giant insect. His body was covered in black armor. 6 legs held him up. His eyes were like red glass. "The humans breed too fast," Zalter said. "They make too many babies. They learn new things too quickly. They will destroy us all if we do not stop them." Jake stepped forward. "That is not true," he said. "Humans want peace. We only defend ourselves. We do not attack others." Elder Vorthik Mordun laughed. He was very old. His race ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. He looked like a tall gray tree with many branches. His bark was rough and black. Red sap dripped from cracks in his skin. "Humans are born to fight," Mordun said. "Look at their history. They kill each other for fun. They destroy their own world. They cannot help themselves. Violence is in their blood." Jake tried to speak again. "We have changed. We are not the same as before. We want to be friends with all races." "Lies," Vexthara said. "Your ships carry weapons. Your colonies have armies. You prepare for war while you talk about peace." Captain Lisa Bennett was far from the council meeting. She commanded the human ship called New Horizon. The ship was at the edge of council space. Lisa had short brown hair and green eyes. She was strong and smart. Her crew trusted her. Lisa sat in her captain's chair. The bridge was small but clean. Her officers worked at their stations. The ship was quiet. They were on a routine patrol. "Captain," said her communications officer, "we have a message from Ambassador Morrison." Lisa took the message. It was encrypted. Only she could read it. Her face became serious as she read. "The council hates us more each day," the message said. "They think we are dangerous. They talk about stopping us before we become too strong. Watch for their ships. Be ready to run." Lisa looked at her crew. They did not know about the message. She did not want to scare them, but she had to tell them something. "All hands, this is the captain," she said over the ship's speakers. "We may see some council ships soon. They are not friendly. Stay alert." On Earth, General Patricia Hayes walked into a big room. The walls were covered with screens. Each screen showed a different part of space. Red dots showed where human ships were. Blue dots showed council ships. There were many more blue dots than red ones. President Cole Thompson was waiting for her. He was a tall man with gray hair. He looked tired. The job of leading humanity was hard. "What do you see, General?" he asked. Patricia pointed at the screens. "Council ships are moving toward our colonies. They have 3 times as many ships as us. If they attack, we will lose." The president sat down hard. "Can we talk to them? Can we make peace?" "Jake Morrison is trying," Patricia said. "But they do not listen. They think we are animals. They want to put us in cages or kill us." Back on Harmony Prime, the council was voting. Jake watched with fear. Each race had one vote. The humans had no vote. They were not real members of the council. All in favor of military action against the humans? Morden asked. 8 hands went up. Only 4 races voted no. The peaceful Milari tried to help humans. The Aquari did not want war. The Christini said nothing. The vegan traders wanted to keep selling to humans. The vote is final, Morden said. Operation Cleansing Dawn will begin in 3 days. The human threat will end. Jake felt sick. You cannot do this. We have done nothing wrong. You exist, Vexthara said. That is wrong enough. Guards came for Jake. They were tall and strong. They wore black armor. You will stay here, one guard said. You will not warn your people. Jake was locked in a small room. He had one chance. He had a hidden communicator. It was very small. The guards did not find it. He sent one message to Earth. They are coming. 3 days. Prepare for war. The message traveled through space. It reached Earth just as the president was going to sleep. He read it, and his blood turned cold. Get me Admiral Clark, he said. Now. Admiral Ryan Clark was the head of the human fleet. He was old, but still strong. He had fought in many battles. He knew how to win wars. How many ships do we have? The president asked. 200 combat ships, Clark said. But they think we only have 50. The rest are hidden. The president smiled for the first time in days. Good. Let them come. They will learn what happens when you attack humans. On the space station, Mordon looked at the stars. Soon, the humans would be gone. The galaxy would be safe. He did not know that he had just awakened a sleeping giant. The humans were about to show the galaxy what real war looked like. The attack began at dawn on 7 human worlds. The council had planned it well. Their ships came out of hyperspace at the same time. The humans were not ready. Knew Montana was a farming world. Green fields covered the land. Danny Martinez was in charge of the colony. He was eating breakfast when the alarm started screaming. Ships in orbit, shouted his assistant. Lots of them. Danny ran to the command center. The screens showed 20 council warships above the planet. They were big and black. Weapons pointed down at the cities. Get everyone to the shelters, Danny said. Now. The first bombs fell minutes later. They hit the spaceport. The buildings turned to fire and smoke. More bombs fell on the power plant. The lights went out across the colony. Danny grabbed his radio. All citizens, this is your governor. Get to the underground shelters. Do not go outside. The council is attacking us. People ran through the streets. Parents carried their children. Old people moved as fast as they could. The bombs kept falling. Houses exploded. The hospital was hit. People screamed. Got far away on Kepler 442b. Katie Sullivan was working in the mines. She was an engineer. She made sure the mining machines worked right. The planet was cold and rocky. Only the mines were warm. Katie felt the ground shake. At first, she thought it was a mining blast. Then she heard the alarms. She ran to the surface. Ships were landing near the mine entrance. They were not human ships. Soldiers came out of the ships. They wore red armor and carried big guns. They were Zephyrians. Their blue skin looked purple in the planet's light. They started shooting at everything they saw. Everyone into the deep tunnels, Katie shouted. Seal the blast doors. The miners ran. Some were too slow. The alien soldiers shot them in the back. Katie was the last one into the tunnels. She slammed the heavy door shut just as laser bolts hit the wall behind her. Captain Lisa Bennett was still in space when the attack started. Her ship, the New Horizon, was checking on a cargo vessel. The cargo ship had sent a distress signal. It said they had engine trouble. Captain, said Lieutenant Sam Rodriguez. I am reading 20 ships coming toward us. They are not human ships. Lisa looked at her screen. The ships were moving fast, too fast. It's a trap, she said. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. The New Horizon turned to run. But the Council ships were faster. They surrounded the human ship. Lisa counted the enemy vessels. 20 against 1. The odds were very bad. This is Captain Bennett, she said on the radio. We are under attack. Send help. But no help was coming. The Council had attacked all human ships at the same time. The New Horizon was alone. The first energy blast hit the ship's shields. The lights flickered. The second blast was stronger. Sparks flew from the control panels. The third blast broke through the shields and hit the hull breach on deck 5. Someone shouted dot. Lisa held onto her chair as the ship shook. Sam, can you get a message to Earth? I can try, Sam said. His hands moved fast over his controls. But they are jamming our communications. Another blast hit the ship. This one hit the engine room. The ship stopped moving. They were dead in space. Captain, Sam said. I got through. I sent all our data about the Council ships to Earth. Fleet Command has it now. Lisa nodded. Good work, Sam. Everyone, it has been an honor serving with you. The final blast destroyed the New Horizon. The ship exploded in a ball of fire. Captain Bennett and her crew were dead, but their sacrifice was not in vain. The information they sent would help Earth fight back. On Earth, Admiral Ryan Clark was in the war room. Screens showed the attacks on all 7 colonies. Red dots marked where human ships had been destroyed. The news was very bad. How many ships have we lost? President Thompson asked. 15 so far, Clark said. But the colonies are fighting back. The people are hiding in shelters. Some are fighting the aliens on the ground. Dr. Helen Foster ran into the room. She was the head of the research division. Her hair was messy, and her clothes were dirty. She had been working all night. The Prometheus project is ready, she said. We can deploy it now. The president looked confused. What is Prometheus? New weapons, Helen said. Better than anything the Council has. We have been working on them in secret for 5 years. Clark smiled. Show me. Helen touched a control pad. The screens changed. They showed new ships. The ships were sleek and black. They looked deadly. Stealth ships, Helen said. The Council cannot see them on their sensors. Each one carries enough firepower to destroy a Council battleship. How many do we have? The president asked. 50, Helen said. And they are already moving toward the battle zones. Back on New Montana, Danny Martinez was in the underground shelter. 200 people were with him. They could hear the bombs falling above. The children were crying. The adults tried to be brave. Governor, said Tony Chun. He was a mechanic. We have weapons in the storage room. We can fight back. Danny shook his head. The Council soldiers have better weapons. We would all die. Maybe, Tony said. But we are humans. We do not give up. Amy Parker was a doctor. She was taking care of the wounded. Tony is right, she said. My grandfather fought in the old wars. He said humans are dangerous when they are angry. Right now, I am very angry. Danny looked at the people around him. They were scared, but not broken. In their eyes, he saw something that made him proud. He saw the fighting spirit that made humans special. All right, he said. We fight. On Kepler 442b, Katie Sullivan was also planning to fight. She knew the mines better than anyone. The tunnels went deep into the planet. The aliens could not find all of them. We can make bombs, she told. The other miners. We have explosives for mining. We can use them against the soldiers. The miners nodded. They were tough people. They worked hard every day. They were not afraid of a fight out in space. The first human reinforcements arrived. They were the new stealth. Ships. The Council did not see them coming. Captain Steve Wright commanded the lead ship. He looked at the enemy fleet and smiled. "This is payback time," he said. "Fire all weapons." The stealth ships opened fire. Their new weapons were much more powerful than the Council expected. 3 enemy ships exploded in the first attack. The Council fleet was confused. They could not see what was shooting at them. "Keep firing," Steve said. "Make them pay for every human they killed." The battle was just beginning. The Council thought they were fighting weak humans. They were wrong. They had awakened something terrible. The sleeping giant was waking up, and it was very, very angry. On Earth, President Thompson watched the first reports of the counterattack. The stealth ships were winning. The colonies were fighting back. The Council was about to learn a hard lesson. They wanted a war, he said to Admiral Clark. Now they have won. Admiral Ryan Clark stood on the bridge of the Retribution. The massive warship was the pride of the human fleet. Around it, hundreds of other ships waited for orders. The entire human fleet had gathered for war. "Today, we show the galaxy what happens when you attack humans," Clark said over the communication system. "They thought we were weak. They thought we were peaceful. They were wrong." Captain Steve Wright was ready in his stealth ship. He had already destroyed 5 Council vessels. His crew was excited. They wanted to fight more. "First strike squadron. Prepare for jump," Clark ordered. Target, Zephyrian Fuel Depot at Gamma Station. The human ships disappeared into hyperspace. They moved like ghosts through the void. The Council did not know they were coming. Meanwhile, Commander Julie Adams was working on Earth. She was in charge of intelligence. Her job was to learn about the enemy. She had been watching Council communications for days. "Admiral," she said on the radio, "the Council races are scared. They did not expect us to fight back so hard. The Zephyrians are asking for more ships. The Kithera want to retreat." Clark smiled. "Good. Keep listening. Fear makes enemies do stupid things." In her secret laboratory, Dr. Helen Foster was working. With her team, Nathan Moore was her best scientist. He understood weapons better than anyone. Linda Gray was an engineer. She built the devices that Nathan designed. "The Hellfire plasma cannons are ready," Nathan said. "They can cut through Council armor like paper." "What about the Reaper defense systems?" Helen asked. Linda nodded. "They are working perfectly. The automated guns can shoot down enemy missiles before they hit our ships." Helen looked at her weapons. They were beautiful and terrible. The Council wanted to destroy us. Instead, they have made us stronger. The first target was Gamma Station. It was a huge fuel depot in space. The Zephyrians kept their ship fuel there. Without fuel, their fleet could not fight. Captain Wright's squadron came out of hyperspace right next to the station. The Zephyrians were surprised. They had no time to call for help. "All ships open fire," Wright ordered. The stealth ships attacked with their new weapons. The Hellfire cannons melted through the station's hull. Explosions lit up the darkness. The fuel depot was destroyed in minutes. "Target destroyed," Wright reported. Moving to next objective, the human fleet was like a pack of wolves. They attacked fast and hard. Then they disappeared before the Council could fight back. Each attack made the humans stronger and the Council weaker. On the planet Kepler 442b, Katie Sullivan was leading the resistance. The miners had become soldiers. They knew every tunnel and cave on the planet. The Zephyrian soldiers were lost in the maze underground. "Plant the explosives here," Katie told Tony Chun. He had come from New Montana to help. "When the aliens come through this tunnel, we blow it up." Tony smiled. "I like the way you think." The trap worked perfectly. 20 Zephyrian soldiers walked into the tunnel. The explosives went off. The tunnel collapsed. The soldiers were buried under tons of rock. "That is for Captain Bennett," Katie said. She had heard about the destruction of the New Horizon. Every human had heard. They were all angry. Admiral Clark was planning the next phase of the war. He stood in the war room with his best officers. Captain Ben Kelly commanded the Third Fleet. Admiral Monica Price led the Home Defense Force. "The Council thinks in straight lines," Clark said. "They attack, we defend. They advance, we retreat. But we do not think like that." "What do you mean, sir?" Kelly asked. "We think like humans," Clark said. "We are going to attack their home worlds. While they are busy with our colonies, we will destroy their cities." Price looked worried. "That is a big risk. If we lose, Earth will be defenseless." "We will not lose," Clark said. "The Council has never fought humans before. They do not know what we can do." The human fleet divided into 3 groups. Each group had a different mission. Kelly would attack the Zephyrian home system. Price would hit the Kithera Hive worlds. Clark would lead the main assault on the Council's capital. The attacks began at the same time. The humans had learned to coordinate their strikes. Each fleet came out of hyperspace. At the exact right moment, Kelly's fleet appeared near the blue planet of Zephyria. The planet was beautiful. Blue oceans and purple continents covered the surface. Millions of Zephyrians lived there. "This is Captain Kelly to all Zephyrian forces," he said on the radio. "You attacked our colonies. You killed our people. Now, you will pay." The Zephyrian home fleet was strong. They had 30 warships defending their world. But the humans had new weapons. The Hellfire cannons burned through Zephyrian shields. The Reaper systems shot down their missiles. "Their weapons are too strong," a Zephyrian captain screamed. "We cannot fight them." Kelly felt no mercy. "Fire all weapons. Show them what human anger looks like." The battle was brutal. The Zephyrian ships fought bravely, but they were outmatched. One by one, their vessels were destroyed. The humans did not stop until every enemy ship was gone. At the same time, Admiral Price was attacking the Kithera Hive worlds. The insect race lived on 3 planets. Each planet was like a giant ant hill. Billions of Kithera lived underground. "Target the surface structures," Price ordered. "Cut off their communications." The human ships fired on the hive entrances. The Kithera could not coordinate their defense. Each hive fought alone. They were easy targets for the human fleet. But the biggest battle was at Harmony Prime. Admiral Clark brought 200 ships to attack the Council's capital. The space station was heavily defended, but Clark had a plan. "Deploy the new stealth missiles," he ordered. The missiles were invisible to Council sensors. They flew through space like ghosts. Each one carried enough explosives to destroy a city. The Council did not know they were coming. The missiles hit the space station at the same time. Explosions rocked the massive structure. The crystal walls cracked. The strange lights went out. The Council chamber was destroyed. Elder Mordoon was trapped in the wreckage. He could not believe what was happening. The humans were supposed to be weak. They were supposed to be easy to defeat. How? He whispered. How are they so strong? Admiral Clark answered him on the radio. Because we are human. And you made us angry. The battle for Harmony Prime lasted 6 hours. The Council threw everything they had at the human fleet. But it was not enough. The humans had better weapons, better tactics, and better motivation. By the end of the day, the Council's capital was in ruins. Their home worlds were burning. Their fleets were destroyed. The war was almost over. On Earth, President Thompson watched the reports. The human fleet was winning everywhere. The Council was collapsing. They underestimated us. He said to General Hayes, "They thought we were just another weak race. Now they know better," Hayes replied. "Now they know what humans can do when we work together." The sleeping giant was awake, and it was very, very angry. The council had wanted to destroy humanity. Instead, they had created their own destruction. The age of human dominance was about to begin. The war was changing. The council was losing on every front. Their ships were burning. Their worlds were under attack. The humans were winning. General Patricia Hayes stood on the bridge of her assault ship. Below her, the planet New Montana was free again. The Zephyrian soldiers were dead or captured. The human colonists were coming out of their shelters. "This is General Hayes to all units," she said. "New Montana is ours again. Begin rescue operations." Danny Martinez climbed out of the underground shelter. The city was damaged, but not destroyed. His people were alive. They had survived the attack. "We did it," he said to Tony Chun. "We fought back and won." Tony smiled. "The aliens thought we would just give up. They were wrong." Amy Parker was busy helping the wounded. Many people were hurt, but they were alive. The human spirit had not been broken. "Doctor," said a young girl, "are the bad aliens gone?" Amy knelt down and hugged the child. "Yes, sweetie. They are gone. The human soldiers made them go away." Commander Jake Russell was leading the attack on the mining worlds. His ships had surrounded 3 planets. The council forces were trapped. They had nowhere to run. "This is Commander Russell to all council. Ships," he said on the radio. "Surrender now, and we will not destroy you. Keep fighting, and you will die." Most of the alien ships gave up. Their crews were scared. They had heard what happened to the Zephyrian home fleet. They did not want to share that fate, but some council species were still fighting. The Kythera refused to surrender. Their hive mind could not understand defeat. They kept sending ships to attack the humans. Captain Nicole White was in charge of negotiations with the Kythera. She met with their ambassador on a neutral ship. The ambassador was a large insect creature. His name was drone leader Kextal. "Your people must stop fighting," Nicole said. "You cannot win. Too many of your ships are destroyed." Kextal made clicking sounds. "The hive does not surrender. The hive fights until death." "Then you will all die," Nicole said. "Is that what you want?" The Kythera ambassador was quiet for a long time. Finally he spoke. "The hive wants to live. What are your terms?" Nicole smiled. "Complete surrender. Your weapons will be destroyed. Your military will be disbanded. You will accept human rule. And if we refuse, then we will destroy every hive world. Every Kythera will die." Kextal knew she was not bluffing. The humans had already shown they could destroy entire fleets. "The hive will consider your offer." Meanwhile, Admiral Kevin Scott was blockading the Zephyrian home system. His ships surrounded the blue planet. No ship could leave or enter. The Zephyrians were trapped. "Admiral," said his communications officer, "the Zephyrians want to talk. They are asking for mercy." Scott remembered the human colonies that had been attacked. He remembered the innocent people who had died. "Tell them we will talk. But they must surrender first." The Zephyrian leader was High Counselor Vex Thara. She had started this war. Now she was losing it. She came to Scott's ship under a flag of truce. "Admiral Scott," she said, "my people have suffered enough. What do you want from us?" Scott looked at her with cold eyes. "You attacked our worlds. You killed our people. You thought we were weak. Now you know better." "Yes," Vexthara said. "We were wrong. Please show mercy." "You will get the same mercy you showed our colonists," Scott said. "None." The final battle was coming. The Council's last fortress was Nexus Prime. It was the original home world of the Vorthic race. The planet was covered in ancient cities. Powerful weapons defended it from space. Admiral Clark brought the entire human fleet to Nexus Prime. 300 ships formed a battle line around the planet. The biggest battle of the war was about to begin. "This is Admiral Clark to all human forces," he said. "This is where the war ends. This is where we finish what they started." Colonel Rick Barnes was leading the ground assault. His Marines were the best soldiers in the human fleet. They had trained for years to fight aliens. Now they would get their chance. "Remember," Barnes told his troops, "the Vorthic think they are better than us. They think they are the master race. Let us show them what the master race really looks like." The battle began with an orbital bombardment. The human ships fired their Hellfire cannons at the planet's defenses. The ancient weapon systems exploded one by one. The Vorthic had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. But their time was over. Captain Alex Turner led the fighter squadron. His pilots were skilled and brave. They dove through the enemy fire like hawks hunting prey. "This is for the New Horizon," Turner said as he destroyed a Vorthic gun platform. "This is for Captain Bennett and her crew." The ground assault began an hour later. Colonel Barnes led his Marines down to the planet's surface. The Vorthic soldiers were waiting for them. They were tall and strong, but they were not ready for human fury. "Attack!" Barnes shouted. "Show them what happens when you mess with humanity." The Marines charged forward. Their new weapons cut through Vorthic armor like paper. The enemy soldiers had never fought humans before. They were shocked by the ferocity of the attack. General Tom Bradley commanded the overall assault. He watched as his forces captured the ancient cities. The Vorthic were falling back on all fronts. "They are breaking," he reported to Admiral Clark. "The enemy is in full retreat." But Elder Mordoon had one last weapon. Deep beneath the planet's surface was an ancient device. It was a planet killer. It could destroy entire worlds. "If we cannot rule the galaxy," Mordan said, "then no one can." He activated the weapon. Energy began to build deep in the planet's core. In minutes, Nexus Prime would explode. The blast would destroy the human fleet and everything else in the system. But Dr. Helen Foster was ready. She had been working on new shield technology. Her team had developed something that could stop even a planet killer. "Deploy the quantum shields," she told her technicians. "Full power to all generators." A blue dome of energy surrounded the human fleet. The planet killer weapon fired. The energy blast hit the shields and bounced back. Instead of destroying the human fleet, it destroyed the weapon itself. Elder Mordoon watched in horror as his ultimate weapon failed. The blast tore through the planet's core. Nexus Prime began to shake apart. "Impossible," he whispered. "The humans cannot be this advanced." But they were. Humanity had surpassed their teachers. The students had become the masters. The Vorthic homeworld died in fire and light. The ancient race that had ruled the galaxy was no more. Their cities crumbled. Their people scattered. Their empire was finished. Colonel Barnes found Elder Mordan in the ruins of the capital city. The old alien was badly wounded. He was dying. "Why?" Mordan asked. "Why are you so strong?" Barnes knelt beside the dying alien. "Because we are human, and you made us angry." Mordoon's eyes closed for the last time. The ruler of the galaxy was dead. A new age was beginning. The age of humanity. President Thompson received the news on Earth. The war was over. The Council was destroyed. Humanity had won. "It is finished," he said to Admiral Clark. "The galaxy is ours now." Clark nodded. "Yes, Mr. President. The galaxy is ours. The question is, what do we do with it?" The answer would shape the future of every living. Being in the galaxy, the humans had won the war. Now they had to win the peace. The war was over. The galaxy was quiet. But the work was just beginning. Humanity had won the fight. Now they had to build a new order from the ashes of the old. President Cole Thompson stood in the new Capitol building on Earth. The room was full of human officials and alien representatives. The surviving council races had come to hear their fate. The old Galactic Council is dead, Thompson said. It died when you attacked us. From now on, humanity will rule the galaxy. The aliens looked scared. They had attacked the humans thinking they were weak. They had been very wrong. Now they faced the consequences. Ambassador Jake Morrison was free again. He had been rescued from Harmony Prime before the space station was destroyed. Now he had a new job. He was the first Governor General of the Terran Empire. The Human Empire will be fair but firm, Jake told the alien delegates. Those who accept our rule will be protected. Those who resist will be destroyed. The Vorthic home world was gone. The ancient race was scattered across the galaxy. Most of them were dead. The survivors lived in refugee camps on distant worlds. Their empire of thousands of years was finished. High Counselor Vexthara sat in a prison cell. She had started the war against humanity. Now she was paying the price. Her blue skin was pale. Her forearms were chained. She would spend the rest of her life in prison. I underestimated them, she said to herself. I thought they were just animals, but they are so much more. The Zephyrian homeworld was under human occupation. Admiral Kevin Scott was the military governor. His ships patrolled the system. Human soldiers walked the streets of Zephyrian cities. The occupation will continue until we are sure you will not fight again, Scott told the Zephyrian leaders. Your weapons factories are destroyed. Your military is disbanded. You exist only because we allow it. The Zephyrian people were learning to live under human rule. It was hard at first. They had been a proud warrior race. Now they were conquered. But the humans were not cruel masters. They provided food and medicine. They rebuilt the destroyed cities. Perhaps, thought many Zephyrians, the humans are not so bad after all. The Kithra hive worlds were being restructured. The old hive mind was broken. The insects were learning to think as individuals. It was a difficult process. Some Kithra could not adapt. They died from the shock of being alone in their own minds. But others survived. They discovered that individual thought was not so bad. They could make their own choices. They could have their own dreams. For the first time in their history, the Kithra were truly free. Captain Nicole White was in charge of the Kithra Rehabilitation Program. She worked with former drone leader Kextall. He was learning to be an individual. It was hard for him. I do not understand, he said to Nicole. How do you think alone? How do you decide things without the hive? Nicole smiled. You just do. You. Think about what you want. Then you choose. That is what makes you free. Kextall was quiet for a long time. Then he spoke. I think ... I think I want to learn more about humans. I want to understand how you became so strong. You can learn, Nicole said. That is the beauty of freedom. You can become anything you want. Not all aliens were suffering under human rule. The Melari had opposed the war from the beginning. They had tried to help humanity. Now they were rewarded. They were given autonomy under human protection. The Melari were a peaceful race. They looked like tall, thin humans with silver skin. They were artists and philosophers. They had always believed in peace. The humans are not conquerors, said Melari Elder Salandra. They are protectors. They fight only when attacked. Now they will protect us all. The Aquari were water-dwelling creatures. They had also opposed the war. They were given control of the ocean worlds under human oversight. They were happy with this arrangement. The Cristini were silicon-based life forms. They had stayed neutral during the war. Now they served as translators and mediators between humans and other races. Their crystal bodies could store vast amounts of information. They became the record keepers of the new empire. The vegan traders had wanted to keep doing business with humans. They were merchants who cared more about profit than politics. The humans let them continue trading, but under strict rules. Every transaction was monitored. Every shipment was inspected. "Business is business," said vegan merchant Trowlock. "The humans pay well and on time. They are good customers." Admiral Ryan Clark was now the supreme military commander of the Terran Empire. He had fleets stationed throughout the galaxy. Human ships patrolled every system. No one could start a war without his permission. "Peace through strength," Clark told his officers. "We keep the peace by being stronger than everyone else." Dr. Helen Foster continued her research. But now she worked on peaceful projects. She developed new medicines and technologies. Her team helped rebuild the worlds damaged by the war. "We destroyed them with our weapons," she said. "Now we will heal them with our science." The human colonies that had been attacked were rebuilt. New Montana was more beautiful than before. The farms were green again. The cities were new and modern. Danny Martinez was still the governor. He had proven himself a leader during the war. "We are stronger now," he told his people. "We survived the attack. We fought back. We won. Nothing can stop us now." Katie Sullivan left the mines of Kepler 442b. She was promoted to chief engineer of the Terran Colonial Development Program. Her job was to build new cities on alien worlds. She was good at it. "We are not just conquerors," she said. "We are builders. We make things better." The galaxy was changing. New trade routes opened between human and alien worlds. New technologies were shared. New friendships were formed. The different races were learning to work together, but not everyone was happy with the new order. Some aliens still resented human rule. They formed rebel groups. They tried to cause trouble, but the human military was too strong. The rebels were caught and punished. "There will always be some who resist," Jake Morrison told President Thompson. "But they are few. Most aliens accept our rule. They know it is better than the old ways." The old Galactic Council had been corrupt and weak. The member races had fought each other constantly. There had been no real peace, only temporary truces. The strong had oppressed the weak. Justice had been rare. Under human rule, things were different. The Empire had clear laws. Everyone was equal under those laws. Crime was punished. The weak were protected. For the first time in galactic history, there was real justice. "The humans have brought order to chaos," said a former council diplomat. "They have done what we could never do." Captain Steve Wright was now an admiral. He commanded the human exploration fleet. His ships were exploring new parts of the galaxy. They were looking for new worlds to colonize and new races to meet. "We are not done expanding," he said. "Humanity will reach every star. We will meet every race. We will bring peace to the entire galaxy." The Terran Empire was growing. New colonies were founded every month. Human families moved to alien worlds. Alien families moved to human worlds. The different races were mixing and learning from each other. Children grew up speaking multiple languages. They played games from different cultures. They learned that being different was not bad. It was interesting. "This is the future," said a human teacher on a mixed colony. "Not just human or alien, but something new, something better." President Thompson was planning for the future. He was getting old. Soon, he would need to choose a successor. The Empire needed strong leadership to continue growing. "We have built something great," he told his advisors. "Now we must make sure it lasts." The galaxy remembered the lesson of the war. Never underestimate humanity. Never attack what you do. Not understand, the humans had looked weak and peaceful. But when threatened, they had become the most dangerous force in the galaxy. Alien children learned about the war in school. They learned about the price of aggression. They learned that peace was better than war. The humans tried to be our friends, the teacher said. The old council chose to be their enemies. The council is gone. The humans remain. Be their friends, not their enemies. The empire continued to grow. New technologies were developed. New worlds were explored. New friendships were made. The galaxy was becoming a better place, but the humans never forgot the lesson of the war. They remained strong. They remained vigilant. They were ready to fight if anyone threatened the peace. We hope for the best, Admiral Clark said, but we prepare for the worst. The Terran Empire would last for thousands of years. It would face challenges and overcome them. It would grow and change and adapt. But it would always remember its origins. It began when a peaceful race was attacked by those who should have known better. It continued when that peaceful race showed the galaxy what real strength looked like. It would endure because strength without wisdom is tyranny, but wisdom without strength is helplessness. Humanity had both, and that made all the difference. The galaxy was at peace, and it would remain at peace as long as humans watched over it. The sleeping giant was awake, and it would never sleep again.